Like, the opposition party to this kind of sentiment cannot just quietly try to go back to business as usual politics. Like, I'm not even joking when I say this. When this party and all of its vestiges are out of power, there needs to be actual legal repercussions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nick, thank you.
Imperial Boomerang. Chickens come home to roost. Washingtonians have meekly accepted both Congress and two consecutive presidents' unconditional support for Israel's slaughter and raising of Gaza. Now those same politics are playing out right here in D.C. Benny Johnson on, dude, this is what I've always said. America loves Israel, and American politicians love Israel because they're jealous. Like, they want to do Israel here. Okay? That's it. Republicans straight up want to do Israel for white people in the exact same way that Richard Spencer has talked about. And then the Democrats want to be the fake opposition party, just like the fake opposition party exists in Israel. It's just fascism. Benny Johnson on Washington, D.C. Entire neighborhoods probably need to be emptied, need to be bulldozed.
President Trump is doing God's work by refederalizing D.C. By the way, D.C. was set up as a federal city. It's in the Constitution. It's how our founding fathers intended it. These laws are still fully enforceable. They've never been rescinded or amended. President Trump and the executive, through the House of Representatives, controls Washington, D.C. President Trump controls budgets. House of Representatives and the Speaker of the House is technically and historically the mayor, the lead of D.C. That still remains on the books. What happened to D.C., especially during the civil rights period, was that protesters that were bussed up here stayed here. The city was burned to the ground. This happened during massive riots throughout the 60s and 70s. Mass swaths of the city were torched and were never really rebuilt. And so what President Trump is doing is reasserting control of not only our nation's capital, but truly the seat of Western civilization. There's one final little note here that kind of blends outside of the personal, which is that Washington, D.C. is a representation of the work of your forefathers and mine. It is, by every measure, a very beautiful city, architecturally city. It is a sovereign place with the monuments to great men and women who've sacrificed far more than you or I could ever dream for this country. It must be preserved because the peoples of Earth come here by the millions per year in order to witness the success or failures of our systems. And if you are a proud patriot and you love this country, and you wish for it to be reflected honorably to the peoples of Earth, then Washington, D.C. must be swept.
What are you, an alien? Why do you keep saying that, bro? That's weird. What a strange way to conduct yourself. Just curious, is the man in the closet? Yes. He's not even doing a good job hiding it either. He's very famously not allowed to. I know for a fact that he's not allowed to go on trips by himself anymore without his wife present.
Clean. I believe entire neighborhoods probably need to be emptied, need to be bulldozed. I believe that there are places that are so crime-ridden and so infested that you just...
Like, the opposition party to this kind of sentiment cannot just quietly try to go back to business as usual politics. Like, I'm not even joking when I say this. When this party and all of its vestiges are out of power, there needs to be actual legal repercussions. You know what I mean? So if the Democrats are basically just cowering and showing their bellies and allowing this kind of sentiment to continue to thrive, they're not going to win anything. But if they're, let's say, in the future, by some kind of serious miracle, that they actually end up winning power again, they can't just let these dudes continue. You know what I mean? This is part of the reason why I say I don't even know if it's going to get to that point. I mean, I'm not saying this is certain, that there's certainly not going to be another election or whatever, but like, this is part of the reason why I keep repeating over and over again that they keep talking about like there might not be one, you know?
You're just going to have to crack down. You're going to have to do the job, and you're going to have to get the crime out of Washington. That's my personal experience. Don't believe the bullshit that you hear online from some reporters. Oh, crime's down in DC. Well, my infant nearly died in a drug fire after mass shootings. So no, DC is not safe. And I can tell you this as a matter of fact, it is one of the worst, most racist narco states and welfare states imaginable. In that neighborhood that I would walk every single day, racial epithets were screamed at us, rocks were thrown at us because we were white people. This city is a sunken place. It is an unsafe place. I mean, if that's what happens to me, imagine what happens to somebody who's like visiting here from a foreign country. Right? It's totally and wholly unsafe and a scar on the face of our country. And it must be healed. And President Trump is going about that heavy work.
This is the streets of D.C., by the way. Don't let them do this to you. A man just now yelled at National Guard troops patrolling Washington, D.C. These are your own citizens. These are homeless people. You have an obligation to refuse unlawful orders, he told them. They drove by saying nothing.
These are your own fucking citizens. These are homeless people. You guys are fucking crook. Don't let them do this to you. It's abusive to you, and now you are going to get, when you're up, you have to go to the VA, and they cut all your services. Refuse now. Do not do this. You have an obligation to refuse.
I feel like that drug fire story went right by. I'm tired, man.
Unlawful order, okay?
1 hour ago, they're going after people with cameras. In Washington, D.C., a United States Park police officer drew their baton and approached a cameraman who was continuously filming a traffic stop. Yeah, it's also funny because like they got like park police and stuff. Like they have national parks. Like they brought every federal agency that they can and deployed them. So there's like I wonder if there's like a postal service cops and shit. You know what I mean? Running around brutalizing homeless people.
Sorry?
Right back at it. He's still filming. My goat. There are literally postal service police doing deportations right now. Federal officials arrested a delivery driver on the 14th Street Northwest this morning. I asked the man arrested if they gave him a reason. He responded, "They're taking me." DC neighbors stepped in and asked why he's been taken. No answer from officials. Many delivery drivers in DC are undocumented. With Trump's raids, he'll likely see sweeps of DoorDash and Uber delivery people. Not exactly the worst of the worst, but it's never been about that, as this operation takes the FBI and DEA away from their other important normal work. That's the other thing. That's the other, like, these guys are supposed to have tasks that they're assigned to, like combating drug trafficking, kidnappings, child sex trafficking, things like that. And now this is what they're tasked with, like harassing random working class people who happen to be brown.
¿Qué motivo te dieron?
You mean doing it? No. Come on. There are heinous crimes that take place that federal law enforcement agencies are supposed to be combating. That's ridiculous. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and act like these guys are not, under different circumstances, like tasked with like dealing with drug dealers and shit. This is the same thing that I talked about with ICE. Like the FBI and the INS, but specifically the FBI, used to engage in sex trafficking cases. They would literally actually combat real cases of human trafficking, sex trafficking, and the like. And then it was brought under ICE, and ICE does have that division. The problem is they're not working on that. This is what the administration is making them do. When I say abolish ICE, I don't mean like the functions of ICE that were given to ICE that previously were handled by like federal law enforcement. You know what I mean? Like someone still has to combat child sex trafficking shit in general, organized crime in general. But these are taken off that duty to go and arrest brown teenagers that are doing Uber Eats delivery. This is why Bad Empanada says you're compromised. This is why Bad Empanada says you'll never be a radical figure. Why? Because I believe that like even in a socialist form of governance, there needs to be some kind of interior security tasked with investigating and dealing with crimes. Yeah, I've never not been an advocate for some kind of interior security. I think Bad Empanada would agree with me on that too. He's not an anarchist. And even anarchists don't believe that there is no form for policing. They just believe that there needs to be a democratically organized form of a democratically organized entity that basically takes up the form of policing, even if it's not called the police. Where you think there's no crimes in socialist governance? What are you, crazy? Yeah, I'm not an abolitionist, and I don't even think most abolitionists are abolitionists in the way that you understand it, where there's like no function for an interior security. Like there's no function for like happens and then that's it. You know what I mean? There's just nothing. There's no unit tasked to deal with a crime like that. There's nothing. Sorry. It's bedlam. Like anarchists who are abolitionists also still believe that there needs to be, even in the process of reformation and rehabilitation, there needs to be some investigations. They just say that unit that is tasked with said investigation need to be democratically organized. The people that say, oh, this can be handled by the community are just like, okay, good luck. I'm not, I don't. No, I got nothing. Commercial break in progress. Ads are back. Is there an actual commercial? I didn't run it. This guy's not answering, so maybe he's eating an ad currently. Piker Broadcasting Services, no ads. Sponsored by you, the viewers. For you, the viewers. Did you see an ad or did you see commercial break in progress? You might be getting served not an ad, but because you have the ad blocker on or something, Twitch thinks you're supposed to be served an ad or something.
¿Qué motivo te dieron?
When YouTube starts requiring ID, I don't know what I'm going to do, man. Ugh, that also sucks. Here's another thing that sucks. Armed Trump administration agents wearing masks just showed up outside of Gavin Newsom's press conference.
Hey, what's going on here? Hey, now we're here making
360.
Los Angeles a safer place since we...
Oh my God, you got mass Border Patrol BORTAC units outside of the Gavin Newsom press conference? That's crazy. Whew. I'm tired, man. I'm done. I'm done today. Is there ever a good news day? No. I fear there never will be. I said there was going to be fun reacts, but I'm too tired. I got the podcast tonight.